you to please celebrate yourself with any emoji you think you deserve. Celebrate yourself with any emoji you think you deserve. If you love yourself so much, throw a love. You think you've done so well, you want to clap for yourself, clap for yourself. But I like to see emojis flying around just to show that you're also excited to be here today. Okay, I see somebody blowing love all around, somebody celebrating. I want to see more emojis, more emojis, more emojis, more emojis. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And just because we are also joining from all across the world, we just want to know where you are joining us from. Okay, as a way to comment, we want to know where you're joining us from. So in the comment section, or rather in the chat area, type your name and the location you're joining us from. Let's get to know where you're coming from to join this event. Just type your name and then you tell us where you are joining us from. I am joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Yes. My name is Magdalene Ologo. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. So do the same thing. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're joining us from. Let's get to know you and where you're coming from before we get started. Adejare from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining. I want to see more comments. Respect Augustine from Lagos, Nigeria. All my Lagos people. Yay. Bola Joku from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much. Oyetunde from Nigeria. Kayode from Lagos, Nigeria. And Jory from Lagos, from Nigeria. If I don't call your name so well, please just excuse me. I beg in advance. Olushola from Nigeria. I want to see more responses to the chat area. More people. Where are you joining us from? Your name. Where are you joining us from? This is a global event, and I want us to know that we have people joining us from across the world. So let's get to know where they are. Zulaka Abdullahi from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining. A few more persons. Justin from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much. I also want to hear from those who are outside Nigeria because we know we have such people here on the call. So let's get to hear from them as well. Any more persons that would like to tell us where they're coming from? Godwin from Lagos, Nigeria. I am loving this Lagos tsunami. Thank you so much for flooding the whole place for us. Thank you. We want more people to please let us know where they're joining from. A few more comments and then we're good to go. I'm still waiting. Anybody from outside Nigeria? That's just what I want to see. Anybody from outside Nigeria, just tell us where you're joining us from. Anybody from outside Nigeria? Come on now. I know you're here. I'm seeing some of you. I don't know why you're not saying anything.
Don't worry, they have not woke up. Nigeria is ahead of everybody.
Okay. All right. So let's just go with what we already have. This is me officially welcoming every one of you to the Career Summit 8.0. Thank you so much for joining. This year we are discussing something that I find very important to our everyday life. And we're talking about careers in cognitive era, powering human potential with AI. Clearly we're now living in a world where technology is changing how we learn, changing how we work, and literally changing everything about our lives. And at the center of this shift, at the center of this change is artificial intelligence. And that is why it's important for us to start having conversations about how we can align with artificial intelligence. I use the word carefully, align, because we're not competing with artificial intelligence. We need to align and use artificial intelligence to bring out the best of us and the best of what we can achieve even as humans. And this is going to be a very packed event. We have amazing lineup of speakers with experiences. I'm not talking about speakers who have read and are coming to share what they have read. Speakers who have practiced what AI can do for us as career people and how AI can transform our events and transform our lives as individuals. So you're going to be learning from such people. We're going to be having panel sessions as well. We're going to be having a fireside chat, and there will be time for you to ask all the questions you want to ask and all the clarification you need to get. So trust me when I say this event is about to be a full-blown ride that you would enjoy and a great impact for everyone that is here. So if you don't have a notepad already, Please, I would allow you some time to pick up a notepad and a pen because you would need it as we proceed in this event. To kickstart the event, I would like to bring up our first moderator on stage. Our first moderator is Mr. Terry Omodibo. Mr. Terry is a brand leadership coach. He is a global speaker, an author, a business strategist, the founder of the leading Beyond Success Citizenry. And you know what is interesting? For somebody like this coming to moderate this session, you already know what you're expecting to get in this event. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to please, with a virtual round of applause, put your hands together as we bring up on stage Mr. Terry Omodibo. I want to see that virtual applause. I want to see that virtual applause. Thank you so much. I see it flowing already. I want to see more hands. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Terry, the floor is yours now.
Thank you so much, Magdalene, for that Sunday welcome. All right. Thank you so much. I celebrate you, Magdalene, for that welcome. Let me use this opportunity to welcome everyone again. Magdalene has already done that. And I can see lots of people joining from all around the world. I myself, I'm joining from the UK, and I see people joining from Lagos, from Canada, and other parts of the world. I celebrate you, for taking out your time to be here. It's not a small feat. Some people are in different places right now. Some are in Owambe, like we say. Some are in different celebrations, some are doing other things right now. But you took your time out saying that you want to learn how you can move your career forward. All right. So in this day and age, all right, if you go on social media, you see different approaches, different things that people say are current things right now. So AI is seen from different perspectives. All right. A lot of people, a lot of things that you will see are more of, oh, you can use it for this, you can use it for that, you can use it for skills, you can use it for different things. But you are here to learn how you can actually use this to advance your career. And I want to celebrate you for coming. All right, so without wasting too much time, I will go straight on into what we have today. And my own part of this is to actually bring on our host. Is it our host now? Our convener, all right? The one and only Dr. Ayo Adeyemi, who has taken out his time in the last 10 years to be able to put up something like this for everyone. The good part about this is that he has consistently done this. This is 8.0 in the last 8 years, consistently between and May. Sometimes it's May 16, it's May 16, around May 16. And one very important part is he has consistently done this without anyone paying a dime. All right. It's free. It has been free all along. So I want us to celebrate him. I want us to celebrate him for that opportunity. So you can put that in the, put your emojis. All right. It's not easy. You know what it is to be able to bring in quality speakers, people who have gone ahead, people who have experience, people who are well-to-do, not just any kind of persons, to put them together to give you information that you can get and pay in pounds, in dollars, in naira, not just small amount, all right? Putting this together the last 8 years for free, it's worth celebrating. All right, so I'm going to bring on Dr. Aya Adeyemi. Someone that we all know, but briefly, let me just read something brief about him. He's an international speaker, international business consultant. He's a leadership coach. He's an academia. He loves academics, right? He's the managing partner at Lorage Consulting and president of the AA Mentor Foundation that specializes in human capital development, marketing, and business strategy across Nigeria, Canada, and globally. And he has some core expertise in different aspects. Beyond that, he's a philanthropist, like you say, like I've said, in the last 8 years, he has given back, right, with the Career Summit 8 consecutive times in 8 years to be able to help other people. He's an advocate for community and global initiatives, and also is part of the Rotary International, which is also an organization that gives back globally. He has several awards to his name, and one of them is recognized as the Global Mentor of the Year in 2022 by the Faith Foundation. And I know he also picked up an award in Netherlands. I think that was 2023 or 2024, if I'm not mistaken. And beyond that, he's an author of several books, including the 10 M's of business success and taking the lead. So, ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding welcome to our convener of the 8.08 edition of the Career Summit, can we invite Dr. Ayo Adeyemi as he brings us the welcome address for Career Summit 8.0. Right, you can use your emojis to celebrate and welcome him. Use your emojis. All right, Dr. Ayo is looking fine now. I don't understand. Canada is doing so well. Looking rounded.
Thank you
With
so
good
much.
skin. All right, but beyond that, I celebrate you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you, everyone. It's a lovely day. It's a lovely day, regardless of whatever it is, the situation of the country, the circumstances we might find ourselves. I strongly believe that it's a lovely day. And I want to thank the moderators, everyone that has been part of this summit for the last 8 years. I want to say a big thank you for again joining us this edition. It has been an encouraging and impressive one for us. And today is not really the day to talk so much about what has happened and what is not happening, but just to appreciate everyone. From the registration, we see that we have quite a lot of people that have been part of this edition over the years, and we have also people that are joining us perhaps for the very first time. And it's impressive and encouraging that each year that we have had this conference, we see people showed up, and the feedback and perhaps we call testimony has also been encouraging. More importantly, the lineup of speakers over the years. There are people that if we have to pay them, of course, we have to pay through our nose, right? They are not people that are cheap. They are professionals. That are people that have achieved and attained some great successes in their own chosen career. And you agree with me, even the speakers we have today, they are leaders in different sectors, different aspects of professionalism, and they have offered to also speak to us, as part of imparting and encouraging and, also deepening the knowledge, and I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of our speakers we have today. We have Dr. Bolajuko, the president of the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria. Thank you so much, madam. I have my Oga Malam Ahmed Ladan Gobir, the president of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. In fact, he's the global president of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. I want to say thank you for also offering yourself to be part of this. I also want to thank Nkechi Robinson. I'm not sure she's on the call yet, but she will be joining us very shortly. And then Dr. Linus, she's also somewhere around the world, probably doing a lot of facilitation. I want to thank each and every one of you for agreeing to be part of this edition. We deeply appreciate it. And your time and your contribution are very, very valuable. A little story about the Career Summit. Some years ago, I thought about my birthday. For birthday, people look at what can I get? What gifts can people give me? But I said to myself, I've been looking at what can I also give? And I said, okay, I can use my connection, use my relationship, use my leaders, my mentors, people that I've also learned one or two things from. I can speak to them to have them also do something, to also impart all the people, other career-minded professionals. And that is how we started the Career Summit. So it's like a legacy, it's like a form of giving back. It's a form of celebrating my birthday. My birthday is actually May 19th. But of course, sometimes it doesn't fall on the weekend, right? So, and I'm like, okay, let's have it on the day that will be a bit more okay for people, for participants. And so, and on this call, I know I have quite a few people do that. So maybe, maybe they are specials. Don't be jealous. They are specials. And so for everyone celebrating that birthday in May, I identify with you and we say happy birthday to you. And so it's not so much about me, it's so much about the people that are here and what we have to offer. Permit me to quickly share a video, 30 seconds video of one of our former, that have been one of our keynote speakers, and this is what he has to say, and I would like us to listen very quickly. to a few things he shared, where he was facilitating for us. Thank you.
Adeyemi. Dr. Adeyemi is a leader, and I say that because he has a heart for humanity, has a heart for service. We have a leadership school, we call it the Daystar Leadership Academy, and Dr. Ayo happens to be one of our faculty members. So I just want to say, Ayo, thank you so much, for your heart of service and for partnering with us to invest in leaders who are changing their families and organizations and communities and our world.
All right, so that is pretty much some of the previous speakers, and for you to know that we are doing this with intentionality. So when we bring speakers, we are not moved by the number. I can tell you we have over 400 people registered, but we understand that some people will come late, some people will probably forget, and some might have chosen to go for Owambe and say, I will listen to the recorded version. So I want to say this, especially to our speakers, the number really, aftermath, we have seen that people watch it and listen to it, but the information is forever and it's highly impactful. So on this note, once again, I welcome you to Career Summit 8.0. Kindly enjoy yourself and feel free to also connect. Thank you and see you later.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Ayo, for that. So I'll hand over back to Meg Magdalene to take on the other parts of this summit.
Thank you so much, Terry, for that powerful moderation. And thank you so much once again, Dr. Ayo, for this remarkable event. Many will decide to do their birthday party. Their birthday as a party, expect people to gift them. You are giving back in. We do not take it for granted one bit. And like you rightly mentioned, if we're to pay for the quality of speakers that are being brought to this event, we'll probably be taking loan from from World Bank by now to pay for such incredible speakers. But yeah, we are having such speakers without paying anything. We don't take that for granted. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And have a day in advance. Also, to everyone who is here on the call, I want you to please take advantage of this incredible lineup of speakers that we have to learn as much as we can learn. And most importantly, translate these learnings to our everyday life. So as we continue in the event, I would like to bring up on stage the next moderator, who would be Anchor and New. She's a marketing professional. She's also a HR practitioner, a certified agile marketer, and a UK trained teacher who is passionate about learning and development. She is the founder of Sotafta Consulting. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding round of applause, I want it resounding. I know I can't hear it, but I want to see it resounding all over the place. Please put your hands together virtually for our next moderator, Kachi, as she comes up. I want to see it coming more. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm loving this energy in the room. Thank you so much. Kachi, the floor is yours now.
Unmute your mic, Kachi.
Kachi, are you there?
Sorry.
Okay. Hi, yeah. Kachi. Your mic is muted. You're speaking, but your mic is muted.
Okay, now I've been unmuted. Good afternoon, good morning. Greetings, everyone from everywhere. Thank you once again for making out time, not just to register, but also to remember to join in. Career Summit has always been a transforming event. I've been part of this I think this is my 7th time that I'm part of this. And please, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, so I am a testimony to the effect of Career Summit. I remember the first time that Dr. Ayo called me up to moderate. Oh my goodness. And my moderation was was not it. He just corrected me on the spot. And since then, my moderation has really changed. And I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Ayo and to everybody that has consistently been a part of this career summit. Now, for this session, we are I'll be calling up the president and the chairman of council of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, in the person of Malam Gober. Now, let me tell you one funny thing that happened. 2 weeks ago, I was at a HR event, and which I was part of the committee that put it together. And I was fortunate enough to interview Malam Gober. And at the end of the interview, I was like, see you again in the next 2 weeks. And he was surprised. But then when I saw the topic that he's speaking to, I was excited because at that event, Funke Amobi was the keynote speaker. And when he was called up to close up her speech, he said a lot of things that it's as if Dr. Ayo heard what he said and brought it over to this topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that this is a session that you have to get your pen and paper ready. Every time you sit under this man, you're sitting to download, as in you're downloading directly. It can be better from any other person than for him. So please give us an emoji of a resounding applause as I call up on the platform Malam Gober. Again, please, for CIM members, please, our election is by the corner. Though he's coming out unopposed, please make sure you vote. Because if you've been enjoying what you've been seeing from him, then we have to get it coming over and over again. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Malam Gober. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Kachi, and it's nice seeing you again. Let me also thank Dr. Ayodemi, who is chair of our Canada branch, for inviting me, of course, to join this conversation. Kachi, can you help me confirm if you can see my slide?
Yes, sir, we can see your slide.
Okay, let me just, it should be, we put it on, okay, should be on slide show now, right? All right,
yes,
then.
sir.
Okay, so let me thank once again Dr. Ayodemi for inviting me to speak today, and particularly for doing these year on year for 8 years running. It takes a lot to give back, to the society, like Dr. Ademi and quite a number of other people are doing. This is a society now where, of course, everything that we're doing, people expect some form of gain or something, but when you then have people who on their own just choose to give to society freely, as Dr. Ademi is doing, it's important, of course, that we recognize and salute him and others for this. So, Dr. Ademi, thank you so much again for doing this, and thank you most especially for bringing me to speak here. I know this invitation came to me almost 3 months ago. It takes one who is very detailed about planning, to plan an event that is happening in May and already have his speakers pulled together about 3 months ago with assurance that we will all be here to speak. So it's important. I have decided to speak generally around the theme, of the summit, careers in the cognitive era, powering human potential with AI. And I'd like to just give a general overview, of the theme. First, I'd like to begin, of course, by saying for every one of us and every human, This is most definitely, of course, a defining moment in the evolution of work and in our workplaces. It is a defining moment in enterprise, as it is indeed, of course, a defining moment in human contribution, to enterprise, to the evolution of work, and of course, to our workplaces. This is because the moment itself is already on us. We're already living the moment, So when we're talking about the evolution of work, we're simply not talking about, when we're talking about AI, or cognition, we're not talking about the future. We're talking about something that is already with us here. Now, the World Economic Forum, in its 2025 report, which is, of course, the most recent, brings, of course, together the perspective of over 1,000 employers who collectively represent about 14 million workers, across 55 economies. Now, what that report did indicate is that about 39% of workers' core skills, will change by 2030. 39% of the core skills that workers will require in the workplace will change by 2030. And 2030 is less than 5 years away. This means that, of course, that the environment in 2030, which of course will be AI-driven and technology-driven, will shape how careers are built and how careers evolve and how careers are determined. Now, if we bring this home to, say, Nigeria, we need to look at the opportunity that we have and the constraints, that we also have in harnessing this opportunity. So we're talking about how the future of work expresses itself within the confines of our infrastructure, within the confines of the systems that we have, and the talent pipelines that businesses are creating. Now, our infrastructure reality, according to the World Bank in 2023, speaks to the fact that 85 million Nigerians currently lack electricity. 9.4% of our households own a computer. That's a World Bank report for 2025. 34.6% have internet access in their respective homes. Now, these figures are what shape, how people in Nigeria, for example, learn, how they work, how they compete, and how, of course, they have opportunities and, they have access to opportunity. So I ask you to imagine a case of 3 individuals, a graduate in Nigeria, and in Lagos, for example, who battles with intermittent power and also have strong mobile connectivity, to a graduate in a place like Kano, who has limited access to structured digital learning infrastructure, or to the young professional, whether in Lagos, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, or in Kaduna, who lives in a semi-urban location, who tries every day to navigate both connectivity and the limitations of devices that he uses. Now, each of these 3 individuals that we have identified all access the same labor market. They all participate in the same labor market, and each of them is expected to compete, in the same economy and in the same world that is increasingly not only digital, but it's cognitive, it's technology-driven, and it's global. Now, so this context, in my view, defines careers in the cognitive era. So imagine the limitations and the constraints that, say, graduates or employees or workers in Nigeria have to work in, or people who are even looking for jobs, have to work in. And we all know, you post an advert today, you get tens of thousands of applications. Just 2 days ago, for example, in one of the business units in the group that I work, we had put out an advert for the recruitment of graduate trainees. We were looking at hiring about 250 graduate trainees, but guess what? We received 92,000 applications in 2 weeks. 92,000 applications in 2 weeks. Now, we will be deploying, of course, our applicants tracking system, our ATS, which is a digital tool, of course, to screen out applicants who do not meet, of course, the specifications that were put in the advert. But I'm mentioning this, of course, to underscore the challenges that, say, people who are looking for jobs or graduates, young professionals, have to deal with in an era of AI and, of course, cognitive development and growth. Now, I want to talk about understanding human potential in this era. That is against the fact that human potential itself operates as an economic and professional reality. It doesn't matter where you are, So what are those human potential? What are those skills that are currently gaining prominence in the cognitive era? We're talking about skills like analytical thinking, skills like resilience, leadership and social influence, AI and big data, flexibility and agility, of course, technological literacy. Now, even for those of us in AI, the power of analytical thinking now, of course, cannot be underestimated. For you to be a very good human resource professional, for example, you must be digitally analytical, Now, you must be resilient. For you to be a very good leader or an influencer, you must have all of these skills, and you must have the cognitive ability to lead, and to influence people in the workplace. You must have what we call both IQ and EQ, and AI, like I said, is already, with us. We cannot run away from it. We use data now, to present whatever initiatives or recommendations that we have to management. It is easier for business executives, C-suite leaders to relate to data than to relate to what we used to do, how we used to present very lengthy and long memos, when we're seeking approvals for some people-related initiatives or whatever it is that we're introducing. Now, we also have to be very flexible and agile, in the workplace. Flexibility means you must also be ready, of course, to transit from one career to the other. You cannot afford to be rigid. You must also be very, very agile, very mobile, for you to grow your career. Technological literacy, we cannot overemphasize that. It's something that we all need, whether you're in HR, whether you're in marketing, whether you're in finance. Now, across various sectors, in finance, for example, professionals now interpret data, to support decision-making. In manufacturing, digital systems are what help to shape production and even improve operational efficiency. I work in a cement business, and I have seen what digital systems, what technology can do, for example, in the workplace. I enter our robo lab, for example, and I'm amazed at what robots are doing in our quality control laboratories, with, of course, the support of human. In human resources, work expands, of course, now into workforce analytics. You're talking about, say, you have attrition, or you're trying to recruit people to fill vacancies that you have in the place. First, you must you must do this through a workforce planning. You can only do a workforce planning, of course, when you deploy workforce analytics. You have capability architecture, growing people. Deploying individual development plan to build people's capacity and people's capability in the workplace so that they can access, opportunities that exist in the workplace and roles and jobs, of course, that exist in the workplace. And what does all of this do? Eventually, of course, it leads to what we call organizational transformation and growth. Now, speaking about Nigeria's national AI strategy goal, it is said, of course, by our National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, that their objective and goal is to position Nigeria as a global hub for AI talent and innovation while ensuring inclusive access and responsible development. Of course, this clearly aligns, with global trends and, of course, our national intent. Now, looking at our labor market reality, we now focus more on capability over credentials. Every employer is looking for experience as opposed to looking at what class of degree you actually graduated with from the university, or what university you graduated from, and how well did you do in school. People now look at how capable are you, what experience do you have, what you can do, and what you can deliver. So the structure of Nigeria's labor market right now reinforces, of course, the importance of capability and development. So, like I said, qualifications alone now does not secure relevance. Now, 93% of employed Nigerians are in the informal employment. Those who work in the SMEs, are more. Those who work in, those businesses that we call, NASME, MSMEs, SMEs, are in the majority, as opposed to those who work, say, in blue-collar jobs. Now, unemployment and underemployment, remain present across different levels of education, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Now, so today, you could have graduate A, who has developed a portfolio of work, who has completed his internship, who has built digital skills on his own, and of course, even demonstrated competence, as opposed to graduate B, who has focused primarily on just academic qualifications without demonstrated practical application. Now, they may have graduated on the same day, and they may, of course, have even studied the same discipline. At the point at which they are accessing the labor market, most employers will rather employ graduate A because he's developed a portfolio of work. There's evidence that he completed internships and did internships on his own. He will be showing evidence, of course, that he's built some digital skills, and cognitive skills for himself. And of course, he has demonstrated applied competence, as opposed to one who just comes and is brandishing the certificate, at you. Now, so the labor market's response to these two individuals, clearly supports and demonstrates, of course, the capability that we're talking about, and the need for people to go beyond just university degrees to even getting certifications, professional certifications, such as that of CIPM or any other professional certification, of course, in other disciplines like accounting, like marketing, like insurance, engineering, and so on and so forth, for them to be able to access job opportunity. So the current work environment itself, requires continuous career reinvention, and interventions that helps people, of course, to grow their careers in the workplace. Now, career reinvention as a professional discipline. And to discuss this, we'll be looking at, of course, career reinvention in the cognitive era, saying it that it functions, as a continuous discipline, because it is something. I was speaking earlier on today, at a forum before this, and I told people that my career had transited from being a lawyer who used to wear suits, go to courts, plead cases, to one who is now an HR professional over time. Now, this could not just have happened without a reinvention of my career. All of this happened because I decided that, look, I was going to transit from being a legal practitioner and a lawyer, of course, into becoming an HR professional. And to do that, of course, I had to access all learning opportunity, join the relevant professional bodies, participate in the activities of these professional bodies, access learning from these professional bodies, access every certification opportunity that was, available or that is available, out until when, I believe that I was ready, of course, to take on HR as a profession. And then, of course, I looked for the opportunity. The opportunity presented itself, and I haven't looked back since then. Now, there are 4 key pillars to career reinvention. One of these pillars, of course, is understanding how work itself evolves within your own field. You must know how work evolves for you to be able to reinvent your career. You must be able to identify the capabilities, of course, that will drive value, in that career, and then leverage on them because it does not make any sense for you to transit from one career to the other when you are even unable, of course, to add value, or you are unable to drive value in the new career. Now, you must build those capabilities through very structured effort. And I spoke about what I had to do, for example, to transit from being a legal practitioner, a corporate lawyer, a litigation lawyer, into becoming an HR professional. Now, you must demonstrate, of course, your understanding, and your ability to identify capabilities, and of course, building your capabilities. You must demonstrate all of this through practical output, what people can see, rather than effort and, of course, activities. There must be some strategic value addition, what you are doing. Now, talking about Nigeria's National Talent Initiative, it is said that there are 3 million technical talent programs in Nigeria, which are designed to build Nigeria's technical talent backbone and position the country as the next exporter of talent. This report is a 2024 report, of course, from the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, that there are 3 million technical talent programs currently designed to be accessed by Nigerians, which is intended to be a technical talent backbone, and which, of course, if accessed, will position the country as a next exporter of talent. We're not just talking about the talent in Nigeria, we're talking about exporting talent even outside the country, if we're able to do this. Now, institutional responsibility and system design. Now, we all know, of course, that individuals carry responsibility for their careers. I have spoken to mine. But institutions, of course, shape the environment for career growth and for people's careers to thrive. And what is this environment that we're talking about? We're talking about infrastructure, we're talking about, of course, collaboration, for example, that will help a sustainable AI ecosystem. Because we know that institutional responsibility does not just lie now with employers. It does lie with universities, it lies with professional bodies, it lies with government, which plays, of course, play very critical roles in shaping the environment within which careers are progressed, within which careers are developed, and within which careers are grown. In the case of employers, employers must continuously invest in learning and capability development for their opportunities. They must provide opportunity. And technology has made it simple. On the LMS platform today, you can access so many courses. On LinkedIn, there are over 30,000 courses on LinkedIn that people can learn, which will help them, of course, to develop and grow their capability. Now, our universities must now shift from just academic learning to applied learning. We must shift from just teaching theories, of course, to teaching research, and teaching applied learning to students so that when they leave businesses, what they have learned are aligned to industrial requirements and they're able to settle in to work, very early when they change. Now, professional bodies like the CIPM, like ICANN, the Chartered Institute of Banking, and various CPHR in Canada, CIPD in the UK, SHRIM, of course, in US, must continue to update standards to reflect current realities. I'm aware that quite a number of these professional bodies, of course, do this. And for the government must continue to improve infrastructure and access, like I have said before. Infrastructure, of course, like the Galaxy backbone in Nigeria. Infrastructure, of course, like internet, availability, and structures that support learning or access to learning for people. Now, the National AI Strategy Framework in Nigeria speaks, of course, to a multi-stakeholder collaboration across the academia, across industry, and across government to build a sustainable AI ecosystem. Now, alignment of all these elements is very important and very germane because that is what enables stronger expression of human potential and growth, of course, of human potential. Now, maximizing the era, a practical agenda. There are 5 practical approaches. There are so many more, but I have just called out about 5 practical approaches which I believe aligns with global direction, and Nigeria's policy posture. I'd like to take us through those specific 5 practical approaches. Now, the opportunities that exist within this era, expands through discipline capability development, infrastructure improvement, responsible AI adoption in the workplace, and of course, stronger bridges between talent and opportunity. We're talking about responsible AI adoption because we must learn to adopt AI in such a way. We must adopt and use AI in such a way, of course, that it does not hurt any individual in the workplace or even hurt the workplace at all. There's what we call, of course, data privacy. Data, of course, privacy regulations and data compliance regulation. So speaking about the 5 practical approaches for the cognitive era, the first, of course, for me will be digital fluency across career stages. Individuals, who want to build careers now, must be very familiar with digital tools, must be very familiar with data, and must be very familiar with how to source data, and of course, very familiar with AI applications within their respective domains. Now, we must also be very conscious of capability-based career development because careers grow on demonstrable value. Careers grow on portfolios, careers grow on projects, careers grow on applied work, in the workplace. And what do we mean? We're saying that for people's careers to grow and for people to develop their capability and their competencies beyond what policies say, beyond what the work manual will probably say, we must give people opportunity to manage portfolios. We must give people opportunity to manage and lead projects, so that when they do this, they are then able to apply their knowledge and their learnings, of course, to deliver on those portfolios or on those projects. They are able, of course, to add value, to those projects. Now, infrastructure, conscious learning design. Now, learning systems, like I said, function within Nigeria's realities today. Mobile-first platforms, low bandwidth content, and offline accessibility support participation. Now, we all know that if we're talking about learning, we also must be talking about access to internet, access to data. And I said earlier on, that only 9.4%, of Nigerians, have access, complete access, you understand, to digital realities and things, of course, that can help them. Now, we have what we call employer-led reskilling. In this wise, organizations, like I said, must deliberately and intentionally invest, of course, in internal capability development through individual development programs for employees and others. So workforce transformation in the workplace, of course, will follow deliberate design. If we're doing a workforce planning and we're doing a workforce transformation, all of this must be properly designed such that, of course, it meets the needs of the specific organization. There is no one-size-fits-all design for any workplace at all. We must learn, of course, to grow homegrown, internal capability development initiatives, which will help our respective organizations. Now, the last, and by no means the least here, is responsible and sector-focused AI adoption. Now, AI applications have expanded across various sectors. Across manufacturing, I spoke about robotics in our RoboLab in the cement company where I work. I mean, people now use AI in agriculture. Ziploc, for example, use AI and technology to distribute medicals and medical supplies in Nigeria. Zipline now uses that. Finance houses, financial institutions, and even the public service in Nigeria today, is adopting or has adopted AI. Now, what we are advocating for is responsible use of AI in whatever sector, of course, we find ourselves using it. Now, all of these approaches at the end of the day aligns with the global direction and, of course, Nigeria's policy posture. In closing, let me please share my reflections. Now, the path forward, in my view, will be alignment and disciplined execution. Now, the cognitive era that we've spoken about and that we all talked about calls for a higher quality of human contribution. Now, so the future of careers in Nigeria and all over the world will be shaped by those individuals who learn quickly, who apply technology effectively and responsibly, and of course, who help to solve meaningful problems consistently. And at every point in time, they are there, they are showing up, they are delivering, of course, learning quickly, using technology and AI responsibly. Now, the future of careers will also be shaped by institutions, of course, that make capability development for their employees, and their workers very accessible. It will be shaped by institutions, of course, that make infrastructure, more reliable and more accessible for everybody. So generally, human potential, of course, expands through the right systems. It expands through the right tools. And of course, it does expand through the right mindset. Now, Nigeria and the various countries of the world, including Canada, where our convener is sitting, all have talent. We all have ambition. What we need, of course, is to continuously and continue to build the systems that will support our talent and, of course, that will support our ambition. So the work before us as HR professionals and as professionals in our rights in our various workplaces requires, that we align all of these elements, and of course, leverage disciplined execution to deliver on them. In my, this will be the pathway forward to aligning, use of AI in the cognitive era, of course, where we work. And doing this, of course, will help us to grow and to develop human potential, all over the world, and of course, in our respective workplaces. Thank you very much for letting me speak. Kachi, I'll hand over back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's always mind-blowing listening to you. There's so much to learn. I have like 4 pages of notes here. Yes, I believe in jotting it down. And please, a round of applause to him. If you know you've learned a lot from him, if you know you have this agitation in you to do better, to learn more, to upskill, to focus more on building on your skills, please give it up for him. You just heard it from the boss himself, from the best, from the orga at the top. So for that career growth you're looking for, while you're waiting for them to support you, please, you have the responsibility to get yourself upskilled, upgrade yourself, make yourself more relevant. He has thrown it to us. The responsibility rests on us before we start looking at our institutions or our companies or the government. Let's do our own part. Thank you very much, sir. Really, really appreciate this. And we are loaded. I hope we have space for others. Please, let's digest it. So thank you very much. And God bless you very much, sir. We still will have you back during our question and answer session. So thank you, because we know you're going to be sitting in and waiting for that session. Yes, please, we really appreciate you for this. Now, at this point, thank you. Mark, can we go on with the next session? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kachi, for that. That's very, very interesting moderation. And thank you so much, Malam Ahmed, for such a powerful
legal and human
session.
resources executive with over 35 years of cross-sector experience spanning public service and multinational corporations. A barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, he holds degrees in law, LL.B., business administration, MBA, and history, BA, from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He currently serves as Acting Group Chief HR Officer at Dangote Cement plc, where he leads enterprise-wide HR strategy, organizational development, and workforce transformation across multiple African markets. Prior to this, he held senior leadership roles including Group General Manager/Senior HR Business Partner and Managing Director/CEO of Crittlehope Kaduna Ltd. Ahmed brings deep expertise in human capital strategy, organizational development, industrial relations, corporate governance, and board advisory. He has worked extensively across Pan-African operations, driving business growth through people-focused strategies and large-scale transformation initiatives. He is the President and Chairman of the Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM, and has served on several boards and national committees, reflecting his strong influence in both corporate and public sectors. Welcome Ahmed Laden Gobir.
Thank you very much for the profile. This was supposed to come up before the speaker came up, but we somehow missed that information. All right, so thank you very much once again for coming through, Dr. Ayo. Thank you so much once again, Kachi, for that amazing moderation. We will be proceeding to the first plenary session, and I will bring in up another moderator. So when I say we have people who are loaded, both as moderators and as speakers, I know what I'm saying. Our next moderator for today is Obeten Umwang. Ubang is